2 episodes away from the Outlander finale, and the show just handed us an episode 8 that quietly lit a fuse under every single storyline at once. So if you think you know where this is heading, you might want to think again, because episode 9 is shaping up to be one of the most emotionally loaded hours this series has ever attempted, and we need to talk about every single piece of it right now, starting with what episode 8 actually set up, because that episode was doing a lot more than it looked like on the surface. The moment everyone had been waiting for finally arrived, and Jamie Fraser came face to face with William Ransom, and it was not a warm reunion. William's anger has always been part of who he is, but in that scene it felt less like rage and more like a young man in real pain, refusing to let anyone close enough to help him. What made it so frustrating to watch was that both Jamie and Lord John Grey have always protected William, always stood by him, and yet there he was pushing everyone away. And then Claire stepped in and did what Claire Fraser does better than almost anyone on this show. She grounded the moment. She cut through the anger and the walls William had built, and through her words he began to see that his fury wasn't protecting him, it was consuming him. That conversation between William and Jamie that followed was not just a reconciliation, it felt like the first real breath of a father and son relationship that the show has been building toward for years, and that matters deeply for what is coming next. Because while that emotional breakthrough was happening on one side of the story, something far darker was unfolding on the other. Lord John Grey was betrayed. Not by a stranger, not by a political enemy, but by Percy, someone he genuinely trusted, and that betrayal led directly to his capture by Captain Richardson, which means we are now heading into episode 9 with one of the most beloved characters in the entire series sitting in enemy hands and the clock already ticking. So what does episode 9 actually bring us? The Battle of King's Mountain is still looming, and it is not going away. History tells us this battle happened, and preparations in the show have made it clear that Jamie Fraser is heading straight toward it. Claire and Brianna are once again doing everything they can to pull him back, and honestly, watching them try to stop Jamie from walking into danger at this point in the series is almost heartbreaking, because you already know he is not going to step aside. War has never just been a choice for Jamie. It is who he is. But here is where the episode could take a turn that changes everything. Before Jamie even reaches King's Mountain, there is a very strong possibility that he and William will learn about Lord John Grey's capture, and if that happens, the idea of either of them doing nothing is almost impossible to imagine. A rescue mission would not just be exciting storytelling, it would be the moment that truly cements Jamie and William as father and son, fighting together not just as allies, but as family to save the man who raised William and loved him without question. And if they pull it off, that reunion between William and Lord John Grey could be one of the most emotional scenes of the entire season. There is even a theory building around what Lord John Grey does next if he is rescued, because a man like that does not forget a debt. He might feel compelled to stand beside Jamie at King's Mountain, and that shift in support could change the outcome in ways that history alone does not predict, especially with allies like Mr. Whittaker returning to the picture at exactly the right moment. Now let us talk about the theory that has been quietly gaining momentum, because it is the one that has fans genuinely emotional, and it centers on Jamie's survival. The show has been building towards something big, and the whispers are getting louder that Jamie might not walk out of King's Mountain the way we hope. If that happens, the door opens to one of the most extraordinary possibilities the series has ever explored. Claire using what fans have long called the blue light, her mysterious ability to heal in ways that go beyond medicine and beyond explanation, to pull Jamie back from the edge of death. It would be unnatural. It would be terrifying. And it would be completely in line with everything this show has always believed about love and fate and the power of the bond between these two people. If Jamie does cross into that space between life and death, the visions that could follow would be more than just a dramatic device. Imagine him standing in that in-between place and finding the faces of the people who shaped him. Murtaugh, Dougal, Jocasta, even Frank Randall. Not as cameos, but as closure. A final reckoning with the life he has lived, and a choice about whether to let go or come back. That would not just be television, that would be legacy storytelling. And the story does not stop inside the main series, because Outlander Blood of My Blood is now part of this world, and there is a growing theory about how the two connect in ways that could reshape Claire's entire journey. The idea that Claire's parents Henry and Julia could somehow cross timelines and find their way into her present is the kind of full-circle moment that a show like this earns after 7 seasons of sacrifice and loss. After everything Claire has endured, the idea of seeing her parents again is not just emotional, it is almost overwhelming to think about. And then there is Fanny. Her discovery of the gemstone and that unmistakable buzzing sound around it is not a coincidence, and the show is clearly not treating it as one. Everything points toward Fanny having the ability to travel through time, and the question of what she will do with that knowledge and that power is one of the most genuinely exciting threads heading into the finale, because if she attempts to travel alone, she could land anywhere, and that opens the door to connections across timelines that we have not even begun to imagine yet. Episode 9 feels like the last quiet breath before the storm, and everything is converging at once. The rescue mission. The battle. The near death and what comes after. The reunions that could break your heart in the best possible way. The time travel threads that could tie this entire world together in ways we never expected. Outlander has spent 7 seasons proving that nothing is ever as simple as it looks and that the most powerful moments always arrive at the exact place where love and time meet. So if you are not subscribed yet, this is the moment, because these final 2 episodes are going to be the kind of television you will want to talk about for a long time, and we will be here breaking down every single detail as it unfolds.